What's going on, YouTube? I am Prepper Princess, the author of Living on Almost Nothing. If you are interested in purchasing my book, I will go ahead and leave a link down in the description box below. So I typically have some sort of like left brain, right brain, or Jekyll and Hyde view on finances. So on the one hand, we have a culture that markets hyper ultra consumerism. We see people in lines at Starbucks, Dutch Brothers, Chick-fil-A, In-N-Out, with lines down the street. These are typically people who complain about how they can't pay their bills, but they're driving around in a $50,000 car with a $1,000 a month car payment. And these are the people that I have absolutely no empathy for. I cannot feel sorry for someone that feels sorry for themselves and victimizes themselves by making poor financial decisions. And, I've talked about this on the channel before. Those people piss me off, and I'm sure that they make you angry too. Then I come across the other side of the spectrum. And people, even people who are retired, and collecting Social Security, and that's their only form of income, and they complain that things are too expensive and they can't afford life. I don't have any empathy for them either, because they worked for 45, 50 years of their life and didn't save a penny, and how many paychecks come every 2 weeks in 50 years, and they never saved a penny. So I don't have any empathy for those people either. However, I will occasionally come across information where it's the total other side of the spectrum, where you run into something and you're just like, whoa, that's crazy. I'll give you an example. I was on my community, I'm actually looking at it right now. I was on my community website. And the community website is people talking about the town, upcoming events, asking for advice. It's just a plethora of different types of subjects. And this person comes in and says, and we have Pacific Gas and Electric, which is our gas and electric bill and company. And if you guys remember, about 4 years ago, there were a ton of fires and PG&E was blamed for that. So in order to rebuild their infrastructure and all this other stuff, all of their bills, and to keep their investors, all of their bills basically for these lawsuits and stuff like that, the bills just went to the customers. I mean, the increase in costs. And they have essentially quadrupled in the last 4 years. So when I was living in the Bay Area of California, there was no delivery charge, and it was 11 cents per kilowatt hour. Now, there's a minimum delivery charge of $15 a month, which isn't really that bad. It was 25 in Arizona. It's 15 here. But it's 42 cents per kilowatt hour. This isn't the most expensive in the United States. I think Hawaii and Alaska might have that beat. But 42 cents is among like the top 5 highest cost in the nation. So this girl I think it's a girl. I'm not sure. It's anonymous. This girl comes in here and says, I live in a 2-bedroom, 800 square foot apartment. My PG&E bill was $200. And I can't afford $2,400 a year for gas and electric. And then it's like, well, that's not, that's bad, but it's not like that bad, right? And you have to keep in mind also that if you compare California's energy use to like the random family household in California versus like the exact same household in another state, the usage in California, meaning how much we use in a house, is way less. But you also have to remember that the reason that it's so much less, like the reason we use so much less electricity now, is because the prices are so high. We have no choice but to conserve electricity. So everybody's using every single trick in their mind that they can think of in order to save electricity. They're turning off lights, switching out CFL bulbs that are 11 watts with like other bulbs that are like 3 watts. You know what I mean? Like the lowest thing you can do. Some people have unplugged their refrigerator. It's a mess. But it makes it look great on paper. Like, look how forward thinking and energy saving and eco California is. It's like, no, that's not why. It's because we have no choice. Like, we have to. But anyway, so going down into the comment section, I gave a bunch of advice. I put like a long post about like, turn off your water heater and only turn it on an hour before a bath. Don't turn on the air conditioner until noon. Turn down your water heater if you can. Put everything on a power strip. Switch it off when you go to bed. Switch it on when you come home from work. Make sure that your refrigerator is set at level 2.5 to 3. Otherwise, you're overcooling your food. Blah, 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 blah. You know, turn off certain bedrooms at the breaker, all this other stuff. So I neglected to realize. So she lives in an apartment. Got it. She does not control the water heater. It's like a whole apartment water heater, which they probably have on full blast, which is probably keeping, and it's probably electric, which is keeping the bills really high. Single pane windows, which it's an apartment, so she can't make the changes. No insulation in the walls. Again, she can't make any changes. So when it gets to the point where that's one side of my brain, like, and she's doing everything she can, but you go down in the comment section. Where is it? Hold on. $200 isn't that bad. My 2-bedroom, 1-bath was $900 last month. And then this other guy says, I have a 1,700 square foot house. My bill was $1,300, $1,279. So $1,300 last month. Then there's a guy in the comment section that says, I can't afford PG&E, so I stopped paying it 2 years ago, and they still haven't shut it off. So what are they going to do? 900 square foot house, $900 electric bill here. These people don't have they can't put in a mini split. They can't put in a central AC. So these people are stuck with inefficient window units. But because it's like, it can get up to 115 degrees. It's usually around 100 in the summer. But they don't have a choice other than window AC units that are totally inefficient, and there's no insulation or in one pane panel windows. So this is the type of situation where I really feel for the person. There's not anything that they can do other than be hot. But they have a 2-bedroom because they have an infant baby. So they can't. they can't. It's like the hands are totally tied. The only thing that I would be able to recommend in this case would be to, at nighttime, it gets nice and cool here. So I would say turn off the AC at like 8 p.m. and open the windows, maybe 9 p.m. Open the windows and it'll get nice and cool. During the day, buy those, they're like foam insulation, like this thick, and put those on all the windows everywhere you can. But that's still going to cost her money. And because all of her money is going to the PG&E bill, she doesn't have the extra money to buy the insulation to help insulate the house. So that's like a really big thing. And another thing that I go through in my mind is people who, they planned out their life, things were looking good, but maybe they made a small mistake. Maybe they got pregnant by accident, or they were on the pill and it still happened and they chose to keep that baby. Good for you. I don't believe in abortion, but good for you for keeping the baby. But now, when they go to childcare so that they can go to work, the childcare is like $1,300. So you're making $2,000 a month, $3,000. Let's say you've got a good salary and you're making $4,000 a month, but $1,500 of that is going towards childcare, which brings you down to $2,500, and your rent, likely for a 2-bedroom, is another $1,500. So you have $1,000 of discretionary income. But if you have a car note on top of that, which don't ever get a car note, I've gone over that, that brings you down to $500 discretionary income. That's for taxes, insurance, registration, food, gas. It's going to be tight. So those are the people that I really, really do feel for, because it's getting crazy. one of the things that I do want to I think I'll make a separate video about this, but I like to think that I set up, I'll talk about that in a different video, but let me know what your thoughts are. In fact, I'm really interested what everybody's PG&E bill is. When I bought this house, it came with solar, so I don't have a PG&E bill, and I don't even conserve anymore because the system is rigged. So PG&E charges 42 cents per kilowatt hour. But if you produce more energy than you use, they only pay you 4 cents per kilowatt hour. So I'll try and put this into a perspective over a year. So over a year, let's say I use $3,000 worth of electricity. That's what I use. But if I were to go and turn my breaker off all year and not use electricity and I gave everything to them, I'd make about $280. Versus 3,000. So I don't think that that's fair. I think that it should be equal. I pay 42 cents a kilowatt hour, so you should pay me 42 cents a kilowatt hour, or at least 36 cents per kilowatt hour, because I understand you need to pay for the transmission and your employees, but it's a total slap in the face charging people 42 cents a kilowatt hour plus a service charge and only paying 4 cents a kilowatt hour. To me, that's highway robbery. So there's no reason for me to conserve. So I just use what I want when I want, and I still produce a little bit extra that goes to PG&E. So like there's not any way for me to save anymore. Anyway, if things would be very different if I did not have solar. If I didn't have solar, I'd be using my solar generators that I use for product reviews. I would have 3 systems set up in the backyard with 500 watts going into each system. One would be for my refrigerator, one would be for the air conditioner, and one would be for the TV and modem. Just saying. Do what you can with what you've... Oh, yeah. Before I say do what you can, let me know what your electric and gas bill combined, because remember, PG&E is gas and electric. So I'm curious what your bills combined are, as well as if there is a service charge included in that bill. Because I think people are getting screwed here, folks. Do what you can with what you've got. Prepper Princess out. This is what my dogs look like after they just attacked, I can't say the word, but PB. Both of them got their PB treats. And now, look at you two. Oh my goodness. Do you need a pet? Do you need a pet, little one? Yes, little pretty girl. Get in there. Oh, that feels so good. Yes. Good girl. And you, Mr. Handsome Boy. Oh, Mommy loves you. You're a good boy. Oh, my 2 little angels.